welcome back. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, share to friends. Yes, it is a mandate. It is something great that when you see or watch this video, then you subscribe. It is very, very, very helpful. Now today we are under international law and we are still going on talking about the use of force in international law. Use of force. This refers to the use of military force by one state against the other. Yes, where you find the country is using military force to fight another country. That is basically use of force. And threats can amount to use of force, where you find that a country is saying that I will come and bomb you. That is also can amount to use of force. And where you find a mere use of military weapons like missiles and many more, that is also use of force. But here, use of force basically prohibits the use of force. That is the general rule. The general rule prohibits use of force, which means, yes, when we talk about use of force, but you have to understand in this, we prohibit the use of force. When you read Article 2.4 of UN Charter, provide that the use of force shall refrain from the threats or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state. Where there is a general rule, there must be an exception. Now we are trying to see which circumstances can arise to use of force. Now, but we are saying the general rule is prohibiting the use of force. Yes, but under use of force, now we have the exceptions where force can rely or can be used. Article 51 talks about self-defense. A state has the right to defend itself in conditions where they are attacked by armed forces. And one of the ingredients of self-defense is that you have to respond where necessary. You have to be proportional. Like if the country attacks you using missiles, then you have to use missiles. There is no way that the country is using like threats. Then for you, they are threatening you. Yes, they are saying we may attack you. Then for you are saying now I'm using missiles to let you stop threats overload. Yes. Another, we have the Security Council Authority, that is Articles 39 to 42 in the United Security Council. The United Security Council can gather forces from various countries to use force. Like where the United Nations have been telling some countries to stop something, but they go on promoting the same thing that is prohibited by the United Nations. Then the United Nations can gather and use force over that nation. An example is the Libya in 2011, where they were accused of using force against civilians. Article 39 it talks about threats to international peace and security. We have Iraq in 1992 to 1993. Civilians were starved, and the starvation were created by the government. So the government was attacked, and it was basically, you remember that person called the president of Iraq. If you still remember, the president of Iraq was hanged, and there was also, remember, that big man, so-called Chemical Ali, who it is alleged that that person used what we call nuclear gas or nuclear weapon to kill people. So you can use the nuclear. That person called it Chemical Ali could speak something and the country shut down. Yes, the moment he speaks something, then the country may realize that there is something, like the world is ending. Another one, we have what we call protection of nationals approach. Yeah, where we find that there are nationals, people of the country, and they are being humiliated, or they are put or hijacked. Then the country may go ahead and rescue them. A good example is Entebbe raid. If you remember what happened in 1976, where Idi Amin allowed the Pakistan, yes, Idi Amin allowed Pakistan to hijack the Israelites in Uganda. And you remember the Entebbe raid, Uganda was attacked by Israelites. The reason was to secure those people of Israelites, and it was actually done in 1976. Sometimes where there is a problem like starvation, poor conditions, United Nations does not necessarily or directly use force, but however may use things like giving food, giving money, giving food like refugees, giving money, giving them protection, medicine, to make sure that they prohibit the use of force. Yes. If I may give you an example, is sometimes things may happen, but it has changed the way of using things. We have talked about the attack of Libya in 2011, and now United States has changed in its way of doing things. And you remember what happened in this country of Nicolas Maduro, where he was just abducted. And to summarize the topic, we talked about use of force. We said that however much it is use of force, but the general rule prohibits the use of force. But however, it gives certain exceptions where use of force can be necessary. One, where there is self-defense. Two, where Security Council gives authority or authorizes. Under Article 39, we talked about protection of nationals abroad. Yes, you remember what happened that in South Africa, there's xenophobia, where they are chasing people. The moment they realize their citizens are in danger, one country may go use force to get those people back by using force. Yes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I always urge you, I always tell you to subscribe to the channel. Please make sure, don't finish the video without subscribing, because when you subscribe, you're helping yourself, you're helping us, you're helping your friends. Stay blessed.